there it goes. Oops, wait a minute. I'm not sure I can start the recording here. Do I have the charts? Oh,
I see the charts.
Okay, I got to do one more thing here. Just a second.
I can see your chart.
See, okay. You can see my charts. Excellent. All right, the recording's already started. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is December 26, 2012. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas holiday. We are going to go over the trades that we took in the live trading room this morning, the trades we didn't take, the results, all that sort of stuff. In the live trading room this morning, we got 17 ticks profit on crude. That was the only market that we traded in the live trading room. I did take a soybean trade, you can see right here. I took a little soybean trade, but that was during the break, and I got 7 ticks profit on that. You can see it kept going down well after my entry and exit. But I got 7 ticks profit on the soybeans, but I'm only going to count the crude oil. Currently, for the month of December, we're now up over $3,500 a contract, which is pretty good, I think, considering the holidays and whatnot. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. Sign up for the free trial. In the free trial, all we ask for is your email and your name, and we will send you a link to a video that shows you how to download the whole charting package. It shows you how to download the indicators. If you want a copy of my layout after you've downloaded it, just send me an email at support@cfrn.net. If you want a copy of my layout now, just send me an email at support@cfrn.net. And I'll be happy to send you my layout as it is right now. And then you can just load it up and your charts will look just like mine. All right, again, it's www.cfrn.net/apply. Wes, no. All right, the trades. It started out pretty slow this morning. The only thing moving at the open was crude oil. All right, so we traded it. Right here you can see the crude. Crude had some nice moves up pre-market here. I had a couple of opportunities. Then the markets opened up right here at 9:30. I missed this, and again, there was another one right in here that I had missed. The first trade that I took though was down here after we got a bearish cross. I drew a trend line up the bottoms as it was approaching the BBC. As price was approaching the BBC over here, I drew a trend line up the bottoms. I was looking for either a test of the BBC with a down close or just a close below the trend line. We got the close below first. I took that, and I took some profit down here. All right, that was the first trade on crude. Then crude whipped back and forth quite a bit right here, and I was looking for another opportunity once it shows a direction. Here you can see it had higher lows, higher highs, showing an uptrend. I did choose once it chose a direction, I did take another trade. I missed this one that's hidden by the arrow right here on the up close right there. That would have only given me a couple of ticks, but I did take the next one that closed up above the trend line that I drew, which was right here. Took some more profit on that, and that was the last trade I took on crude oil. From there, the other markets started jumping around and moving, so we had some opportunity in the other markets. I didn't look at gold today, so I'm not gonna look at that. I just mentioned gold because that's, I think, the one market that I didn't look at all today. But here we had more opportunities on the crude oil, closing down below these trend lines that I drew on there. It got sideways after that. You can see it got really ugly and sideways in here, and so we just put it aside and moved on to the other markets. All right. Once the soybeans opened up, we'll look at soybeans next. Okay, once the soybeans opened up, there were a few trade opportunities. It opened up here at 10:30. Now, there was one right in here that I didn't highlight. Now, these jumped around pretty quick. Some of these jumped around pretty quick, and I don't think this one right here you would have been able to get in, this move right here. That's why I didn't have it highlighted. But this one right here, it pulled back up, tested the BBC, and gave a down close right here. You could have gotten in right there on the down close or on the close below the trend line right there. All right, what I want you guys to take away from this, as always, what I want you to take away from this is that we are doing the same exact thing across all these markets. Okay, we're doing the same thing on all the markets. Opportunity to short right there. If you missed that, there was another one right over here and another one right over here. There was another one here and another one here. If you got in this one, that didn't work out. You would have stopped out on that. Let me highlight that. All right, let me just make sure that's highlighted as well. I closed below the trend line right there. Did not work out if you got into that. This one did, this one did, this one did, this one did, this one did. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 did, 1 didn't. And then I finally got into this one during the break, and that one did as well. There was another one in here as it approached the BBC. We did have some bearish divergence there, so you could have just taken the down close, or if you wanted to, you could have just got in right there. So, of all the soybean movement this morning, there was plenty of opportunity to capture some of it. All right, that was the soybeans. Now the NQ. I didn't trade the NQ this morning. I didn't even have an NQ DOM open. But there was nothing really available on the NQ until after 10 o'clock. I wasn't even looking at it during all this stuff right in here. All right. 10 o'clock came. Not that we had a huge news event or anything, because we didn't. But there were some opportunities. Once we got a bearish cross here, again, the same exact trade setup. You know, you're looking for it to pull back up, test the BBC. Once it does, if you have divergence, you can take the down close like that one right there. If it doesn't, or if you don't have divergence, if it doesn't hit the BBC, or if you don't have divergence, then you can just take a close below the trend line like that right there, and that right there, and that right there, and that right there. All right, all right. Lots and lots of opportunities there in the first. Well, I won't say the first 2 hours, in the first hour and a half. Okay. The brown line, that is the S, I don't know. I'll go look. The question is, what's the brown line? It's the S3 fast on. That's what that is. The S3 fast on P. Okay. Let's see, that is the NQ, the soybeans, crude oil. Let's look at the ES, because we had a nice ES trade earlier this morning. Toward the end of the morning session, it was really sideways in the 2.5 point range here, up until 10 o'clock, and then it just tanked. All right through the weekly trading zone. As a matter of fact, it went zone to zone this morning. It dropped right through the zone down to the zone down below it. There was a tweet that was triggered in here. Tweet was triggered right here. Okay, and that gave, so far gave 3.25 points, right? Yeah, max 3.25 points. No drawdown at all. All right. In the live trading room, though, this is where you would have taken the short right in here. Okay, there was an opportunity to get short here at 14.15.5. Another one in here. I missed this one, and I pointed this one out when it actually happened, 14.14.5, and that dropped 3 points, I believe. It's gone pretty much sideways since then, and I wouldn't be trading anything in there right now. But that is that. All right. The euro moved around quite a bit this morning. Okay, we had quite a bit of movement on the euro, and I didn't point it out in the live trading room as much as I would like to have. I did point out this when nothing else was moving. I said, "Oh, well, the euro seems to be moving," and I gave a circle in here on the up close, but I didn't trade it. All right. And it pulled back down to the BBC here. I drew in this trend line as it was pulling down, but we never got to close above the trend line until it got down here and tested it. Tested it and gave an up close right there, but by that time I was not looking at it at all. It didn't go anywhere from there. All right, it turned around and went down. That market is not something I would trade right at the moment. Wait till the morning. All right, about 3 o'clock in the morning. It should start moving around pretty well in there right now. Lots of European holidays right now. If you look all over Europe, there's. Let me just go have a look. I think we show bank holiday in Switzerland, the Euro, German bank holiday, Italian bank holiday, British bank holiday, Canadian bank holiday, and Switzerland bank holiday. So, not a lot going on over there today. Tomorrow should open up a little bit. All right, let's see. We did talk about the Russell a little bit this morning. I pointed out a couple of opportunities on the Russell. This one right in here, in particular. I said it's closing down below that trend line, 37.9. That dropped all the way down to 35.9. All right, for a 20 tick profit opportunity. I think by the time I had pointed out, though, it dropped down to 36 point. Not by the time I pointed out. When I showed this line in here, it had dropped down to 36.4. I had drawn this line in here and said look for the close down below that. But you can see in here I had drawn all these lines, and I said look for the close down below those trend lines, opportunities to short the Russell. All right. Now again, the Russell wasn't doing much right in here up until about 10 o'clock. It didn't do anything. We went right into the weekly trading zone. We got rejected from the zone, bounced off the BBC, back to the zone, rejected again, and it dropped almost all the way down to the zone down below us. All right. It's gone pretty sideways since then, so we're kind of not doing anything over there. Let's see. I said I wasn't going to do gold. I did crude oil. I did the Russell. I did soybeans. I did the NQ. I did the YM. Did I do the NQ? Maybe I didn't do the NQ. I don't know. Did I do the NQ, guys? This was the NQ. Okay, thanks, Jeanette. Here was the NQ. All right. Again, pretty much flat. Not a lot going on up until about 10 o'clock. And then when everything started to move down, there was a ton of opportunity in here to short it. All right. This one right here, we had bearish divergence, and it hit the BBC with a down close. So you could have shorted right there on the down close. There were more opportunities in here, but I drew these lines on here as I was, as I looked at it when it was happening. Right here we had a pullback up, tested the BBC again with bearish divergence, but the cycle's blue, so I say wait for the close down below the trend line. There it goes. Over here, same thing. Cycle's blue, didn't hit the BBC. Wait for the close. Close. The close. The close. And the close. All below the trend line. It's gotten pretty choppy in here right now. Let's see. If you were looking to trade it right here, I'd say don't trade it right in there. If you were looking to trade it over here, I would have said look for an up close above this trend line, but it didn't happen. If you were looking to trade it over here, I would have drawn a trend line like this. That's the trend line. I would have said look for a down close below that trend line. By the time you got the down close, the black line was above the BBC, so I would have said don't trade it, even though it worked out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Over here, you could have traded the up close off the BBC with the bullish divergence. Okay. I did stay away from the NQ, Pete. I didn't trade the NQ at all this morning. I didn't even have an NQ DOM up, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I traded the soybeans and the crude oil. That's all I traded this morning. All right. And that's pretty much it, guys. That was the morning session. I know I said I was not going to rush it, but not much to talk about there. All right. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? It's I've been going back and forth in this chat, and the fellow that I've been chatting with was saying, should I? Well, he's saying he's planning on waiting until January 7th to start trading. My thought is the volume's going to be pretty low. More than likely, the volume's going to be pretty low from here till a week from today. The volume's probably going to be pretty low. That doesn't mean there's not going to be opportunities, and that doesn't mean there's not going to be periods where the volume's going to pick up. You can see today the volume was low. On the ES, we had almost nothing to do in here for the first half an hour, 40 minutes maybe. And that was spread across pretty much all the indexes, all the stock indexes, the NQ, the ES, the YM. The Russell had a little bit of life, but it was going right into a weekly trading zone, so we didn't trade it anyway. But there are other things moving, crude oil, and then we're waiting for soybeans to open up. Once we got those soybeans open, then there were opportunities there on the soybeans. So I think, particularly as we approach the weekend, you may see more volume. A lot of guys probably still didn't even turn their computers on today. With Christmas being on a Tuesday. there's a couple of days left to this week, and then there's Monday left to the year. So there's going to be end of year trading going on. There's going to be end of quarter trading going on, and there's all these things. None of that really has a lot to do with what we do. We trade exactly what's in front of us when it's in front of us. But yeah, fiscal cliff going on. Maybe not, Pete. But we'll see about that. I don't know. The president's managed to come back from his vacation. I think he ought to have to pay like anybody else would have to pay. Like we have to do. If you have to cut your vacation early, you have to buy, change your plane tickets all around and do all that kind of stuff. All that hassle. Anyway, I don't need to get all that in the recording. All right. If anybody has any questions, you can email us, support@cfrn.net. If you're on the free trial, there's a partners meeting tomorrow night. You got to be a partner to get into it. We are still holding our partners meeting tomorrow night, as far as I know. And you must be a partner to get into that. All right. That's it. That's all I got. If you haven't taken a free trial and you want to, go to www.cfrn.net/apply. All right. With that, I will stop the recording.